Welcome to another demonstration. Today I will show you how to apply the shoulder pad into your suit. Now some of you might not have the exact type of shoulder pad that I am holding, but one thing that is the same when you buy shoulder pads for jackets is that you have a notch at the center at the very tip of the shoulder pad, and you also have another notch at the back. But if you pay attention closely, you will notice that it is slightly off center. Okay, it is not dividing the shoulder pad in two exactly. Now, the shorter distance is going to be the front side of the shoulder pad, and the longer distance is the back side of the shoulder pad. So this would sit on, notch to notch would sit on the shoulder seam, and then the longer side towards the back, shorter side towards the front. So here I have already prepared some thread, again colored, just so that we can have some contrast. Hopefully you can see it clearly. And here I have my jacket. I will open up my jacket. Now, if you have already sewn in your sleeve, that is okay. All you need to do is go in from the bottom of the lining and go in between so that you can get access to the shoulder. So here I have my shoulder seam. You cannot see the seam because I have the canvas overlapped and enclosed. And I know that this is the front side of my jacket and this is the back side of my jacket. Here I have my shoulder pad, and now you want to make sure that the shape of the shoulder pad is in opposition to the jacket, because this is going to lean over and then the shoulder comes in here. So I am going to go ahead and put the thicker part of the shoulder pad towards the crown of the sleeve, okay? So I've got my front. Okay, this is the wrong one. There we go. So I have my front side to the front, back to the back. And again, it curves in opposition to the shoulder, okay? So that once it comes back down, it leans forward. So now I am going to match this notch. I hope you can see it. I'm going to match the notch at the thicker part right at the seam allowance, okay? You see that? Flush with the seam allowance. And I'm just going to do one single wrap stitch, which would just be going in and out, just to hold the shoulder pad in place. I would say if you go about 5 times to 6 times, that should be enough to hold the shoulder pad in place. Okay, and remember, you are stitching only to the seam allowance. Okay, I'm going to repeat that same action at the shoulder neck point. Again, attaching only to either your seam allowance, depending on the length of your shoulder pad, either only to the seam allowance or attaching only to the canvas. In this case, my shoulder pad is not long enough to get to the seam allowance, so you don't want to pull it, because what happens is your jacket would not lay flat. So I'm just going to make sure it's in its at its proper length, and I'm going to catch that to the canvas. Again, there's nothing fancy about the process of attaching the shoulder pad, but you just want to make sure that it is placed correctly. Okay, so about 4 to 5 stitches here as well. and make sure, of course, you lock that stitch. And that is all it takes to put a shoulder pad in a jacket. Okay, so you can see it has filled out the shape of the shoulder nicely, in addition to the shoulder, the sleeve head. Okay, thank you, and stay tuned for the next video.